There's one scale system that secretly unlocks the entire guitar neck. You don't need endless and confusing box shapes, just two simple patterns to open up the entire neck. After years of teaching countless stuck guitarists, I realized most players miss this simple shortcut. But once you see it, the entire guitar neck starts to seem much more simple. So in this lesson, I'm going to show you how this system works and how just two patterns can unlock the entire guitar neck for you to play and solo creatively anywhere on the neck. The amazing part of the system is that you really only need two simple sets of notes. What I call the two-note set, which is just two notes separated by a whole step. That's 2 frets on the guitar, like 5 to 7. And what I call the three-note set, which is 3 notes with a whole step in between, like 5 to 7 to 9. The incredible thing is that the combination of these sets give you both the major and the minor pentatonic patterns anywhere on the neck. Let's start with major today because most guitarists are weaker with the major pentatonic. Let's begin by finding our root. For this lesson, we will be using 2 different tracks, a G major backing track and a G minor backing track, which you can go ahead and download along with the diagrams in the description below. Starting with the G major track, we are going to do something that many guitarists never think to do. We are going to start far away from the thick strings, the low strings, right? Playing too close to the bass strings can get in the way of the bass player, and it makes the whole band sound tubby and cluttered in the mix. So instead, let's use the G note at the 8th fret of the B string. Even if you're already familiar with a diagonal pentatonic, make sure to stick around to the end of the video because I'll show you something I've never seen taught in the diagonal playing before. So to access the major pentatonic from right here at that 8th fret G, we will combine the 3-note set and the 2-note set into what I call a 3-2 pattern. So we'll start on the G at the 8th fret and we're going to play the 3 notes a whole step apart each. That gives you G, A, B. Then we'll move to the next string for the 2-note set, which is D and E. Just right there next door. Now here is something important. Guitarists often search for fancier and more like exotic scales immediately. But if you check out the greatest guitar players of all time, they're usually playing the pentatonic scale with just a couple of additional notes added here and there. And the real difference between great players and average players is that great players milk every single note. They play in the pocket and they add essential decorations to every single phrase. How do they do that? With slides, hammer-ons, pull-offs, little bend, and of course, vibrato. So instead of constantly searching YouTube for new scales and tricks, try to get as much expression as possible out of these simpler shapes. Your musicianship will thank you. You can see how well this works for the major pentatonic, but what about minor pentatonic over a minor track? This is the G minor track that you can download below. And instead of starting directly on the root at the 8th fret, you're going to place your ring finger on the root and add an F note on the 6th fret below it. I call this the bonus note because it fills out that 2-note set. Now, interestingly enough, many people were taught that you have to start on the root note of the scale. Public service announcement, you can start anywhere in the scale and make great music. So that is our 2-note set, all right? On the high E string, you will have the 3-note set, B flat, C, and D. And the same idea applies here. Make sure that you are squeezing as much expression out of these shapes as possible. The power of the diagonal pentatonic is that these simple patterns copy and paste across the entire guitar neck, and you can play them in 3 octaves by just alternating between 3s and 2s. Here is the G major pentatonic across 3 octaves on the G major track. Here's the G minor pentatonic across 3 octaves on the G minor track. Just 2s and 3s. 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3. Just remember that the B string forces you to shift the pattern up a half step in order to keep it correct. And don't forget to download all these shapes at the link in the description. Make sure to stay tuned until the end of this video because I will share something about the diagonal system that I never see taught online. And now a quick break for the sponsor of today's video, my full course, The Diagonal Pentatonic Method. If you're enjoying this diagonal approach to the fretboard, make sure to check out the complete course. It will show you how to connect these diagonal shapes all over the neck or even link them to the box shapes that you already know. You will learn licks, lines, and exercises that turn these shapes into real music instead of boring up and down scale practice. As a thank you for watching this video, click the link below and the first 21 people will get 21% off today. Now back to the lesson. The most important part of this method is making sure that you do not get stuck in these alternating diagonal patterns. This is something that I don't see other people teaching. I discovered it myself, and I call it the 3-fret shift. At any point that you want to move higher or lower on the neck, you can use the 3-fret shift from either the 2-note set or the 3-note set. It works great to connect you to the opposite set on the same string up or down the neck. Let's look at it in G major for a second. So I'm gonna play starting on the low string G, 3, 2, 3. Let's say I didn't want to go to the next string right here. I'm on the 9th fret of the D string. Instead, if I wanted to stay on that string, I just go from 9 plus 3, that's going to be 12, go up and I start my 2-note set there. So that's 3 notes, that's 5, 7, 9. And then up to 12, and I start my 2-note set. And then the awesome thing is I can continue that pattern to 3, watch out for the B string, 2, and then 3. And you can do that 3-fret shift anywhere you'd like. Let's look at it in the G minor pentatonic. Let's say I'm on G here at the 10th fret of the A string. I've got my F G, that's my 2-note set. Got 3, got 2. Now let's say instead I wanted to shift down towards the headstock of the guitar, right? I've got 12 and 10. And let's say I wanted to stay on that G string there. I move from 10 down 3 frets and I play 7, 5, 3. I move from the 2-note set down to the 3-note set on the same string by using the 3-fret shift. And you can do that anytime you want. And finally, an incredibly powerful part of the diagonal pentatonic is that you can expand this 5-note scale into a full 7-note pattern on any of the strings. Because the intervals copy across the neck, you can turn the major pentatonic into the full 7-note major scale by adding the 7 and the 4 to the fingering pattern. So for example, if we're in G, we've got 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, we can add our 4 right there. And then I love to add the 7 right here on the 4th fret. So we end up with this pattern. And then that will copy and paste to the other sets. And these notes are added in the same way on each set. You could also do the same if you wanted to expand your minor pentatonic into a full natural minor scale, like this. G minor, Let's add the 2 there, whole step above that 1. Now we've got what I call a 3-3 pattern. And then if we want to add that flatted 6, the lowered 6 for that natural minor sound, sounds awesome, especially over our track. Now that you've learned the power of the diagonal pentatonic scale, make sure to watch this video next to learn the simple system that explains every song you know.